We're on the brink of new adventures for Superman and James Bond. But let's pause for a moment. These aren't just characters, they're cultural beacons, crafted by visionaries whose stories have transcended time. Before we embrace these new chapters, we need to hammer down an ironclad truth. Deviating from their source material isn't just a creative liberty, it's a betrayal of their very essence. So let's delve deep into why their original blueprints are not just guidelines, they're commandments. First of all, there is the sanctity of the source material. Ian Fleming wasn't your average writer. His life was a prelude to Bond's adventures. In May 1939, he was recruited by Rear Admiral John Godfrey to serve as his personal assistant in naval intelligence. He wasn't a spy per se, but he had a front-row seat to the world of espionage, shaping Bond with real-world insights. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, during the depths of the Great Depression, crafted Superman as more than a superhero. He was a symbol of hope when America needed it most. And this hope was personal for Siegel. His father, Mitchell Siegel, died from a heart attack following a holdup at his clothing store, an event that undoubtedly influenced the creation of a bulletproof hero. To alter these characters for any modern agenda is to desecrate the genius of their creation. The next reason staying true to the original source material is a commandment is the character's identity. James Bond isn't a silhouette you can project any image onto. He's a detailed, specific man. Fleming envisioned him with dark hair, slim build, and cold blue eyes, bearing a scar from a knife fight. Daniel Craig embodied Bond's spirit, but there's one detail they missed. His hair should have been black, like in the novels, to truly mirror Fleming's vision. We shouldn't pretend to know better than Fleming who James Bond is, and we shouldn't pretend we know better about all the powerful reasons, both obvious and subtle, for each and every nuance of Bond's character. We can create new stories, but the characters in those stories must be true to Fleming's blueprints for those characters as outlined in the original novels. Superman's identity is interwoven with his journey from Krypton to Smallville, embodying the immigrant experience of becoming an American icon. His race, his very essence, was part of a narrative where being white symbolized the ultimate assimilation into American culture. So the fact he is from Krypton makes him the ultimate outsider. He's an alien from another planet. Yet he also represents the promise of America, that even though he is from another planet, he can be the ultimate immigrant who assimilates perfectly, even becoming an American icon. And let's not forget, the creation of Superman was also a response to personal tragedy for Siegel. When Siegel created Superman's identity, it wasn't a trivial thought. It may have been the single most inspired creation he ever had. Change these core identities, and you're not just altering a character, you're rewriting history. And now, the third reason why staying true to the source material is not just an option, but a command. It's respect for the creators. Fleming, Siegel, Shuster, they're no longer here to protect their legacies, but we are. Fleming, with his first-hand experience in intelligence, gave us Bond, a character who was always meant for the screen. Siegel and Shuster, with their immigrant roots, gave us Superman, a testament to the American dream. For Siegel, Superman was also a way to cope with the loss of his father, killed by the shock of a robbery. To disrespect their visions by changing core aspects of their creations is like painting over a masterpiece because you disagree with the artist's choices. The fourth reason why we must stay true to the source material is the collective memory and fan experience. These characters aren't just in films or comics, they're in your memories, your childhood, your cultural identity. To drastically alter them is to dismiss the countless hours fans have spent with these heroes, the dreams they've inspired, and the cultural tapestry they've woven. We're not just talking about entertainment, we're talking about heritage. And now, the final reason we must adhere to the original blueprints of these characters is historical context. Bond was conceived in the shadow of the Cold War, an era of paranoia and espionage, where the world balanced on the edge of destruction. Yet, not all of Fleming's tales were about the Cold War. They ventured into varied themes, showing the adaptability of Bond's character. However, this adaptability must respect the historical context from which Bond emerged. Superman, meanwhile, was born in the despair of the Great Depression, fighting not just supervillains but the everyday evils of the time, embodying the hope Siegel desperately needed after his father's tragic death. These contexts aren't just backdrops, they're the very soil from which these characters grew. While both characters can and should evolve to address modern issues, this evolution must be rooted in their original narratives. Bond can fight new forms of threats, but his core identity, shaped by Fleming's first-hand experience and intelligence, must remain intact. Similarly, Superman's journey from Krypton to Earth, symbolizing the ultimate immigrant experience, should be preserved. Ignoring this is like telling a story without understanding its setting or the cultural significance of the character's inception. In conclusion, Superman and James Bond are more than icons. They're a part of us, a part of our collective soul. Their true power lies not in their physical feats, but in the morals they uphold, the hope they inspire, and the history they represent. As we look to the future, let's do so with reverence for the past. Innovation should enhance, not erase, the core of who these heroes are. From Bond's specific traits like his black hair, symbolizing the meticulous detail Fleming intended, to Superman's journey from alien to American, from the personal tragedy behind Superman's creation to Bond's roots in espionage, these details are not just details, they're the heart. They remind us that to truly honor these characters, we must respect their origins with the utmost care, ensuring that every adaptation is a tribute to their legacy, not a departure from it. Join me in this crusade to defend these legacies. Share this message, engage in the debate, and let's ensure these heroes continue to stand for what they were meant to: truth, justice, and courage. Like, share, and subscribe, and let's keep the spirit of Bond and Superman pure, powerful, and true to their essence. Until next time, keep on loving movies.